Hello. Well, I am now offering a Bernina Aurora 430. This was a 75th anniversary edition, which tells me it was made in 2007. That was their 75th anniversary. This machine is a complete kit. It has pretty much anything you could want. And it's got the beautiful Bernina stitches. So it has a ton of built-in stitches. And it has a nice digital readout here. And you control it all with the buttons over here. And buttons over here and down here. That's the start and stop button. This one right here. That you use if you're not using the foot pedal. And when you do embroidery, you have to remove the foot pedal. And then you've got reverse. This is your speed, faster and slower. Here's mirror if you want to mirror a stitch. This is your needle over, center, left and right, and needle up and down. And then you have here, this is clear. This is to lock a stitch, and this is for balancing the BSR. And then over here you have some memory buttons. You have 60 memory slots that you can set for stitches that maybe you do all the time, and you want to just be able to dial it in, and let's say you're doing a combination of stitches. And to utilize this, you definitely have to read the manual. Then you've got your straight stitch length, either shorter or longer, and then your width, wider or less wide. And then you have your basic built-in stitches that are just one button, push button. So you want to do a straight stitch, you just hit number 1 and it changes to the straight stitch. It automatically goes to a standardized size, which is a 2-inch or I think it is 2 inch. It's a 2. You have between, it's centimeters or millimeters. So you have 5 millimeters long and up to 5.5 millimeters wide. And then this tells you where it is. Now the flashing cursor is where the standard number is. So if you ever wanted to go back to standard number. And then this tells you put down your presser foot. We're using presser foot 1. It's also telling you how much pressure is dialed into it. And that dial is around the corner here. So as you change this dial, let it focus, that's where your presser foot pressure comes from. This is a thread cutting area here. It does have automatic threading and it works. I use it all the time on it. This little bracket here is if you want to buy an optional magnifying set so that it will actually house it right here, magnifiers, so that you can see better if you don't want to have to wear readers or whatnot. And this is also for setting thread. You're supposed to be able to hook it there, and as soon as you sew, it takes off or something like that. I read that in the manual. It of course has automatic buttonhole. And then this number is what accesses your other built-in stitches. And it's got this handy card, which it's actually a pretty thick plastic. And it shows for the Aurora 430. And this shows stitches 11 through 80. And then on the back side, it goes from 81 to 150. And then there's also letters. So you have a lot of built-in stitches. So let me show you first how it sews a straight stitch. You can see I played around with it a bit, doing all kinds of different stitches, and it does them beautifully. And I have it dialed in to pretty much perfect tension. You can see there's some L's. It does, the tension is set up here. The red mark is where the standard is. And while I was embroidering, I actually increased the tension. I had it at almost 7. And some other stitches I went down to 3. So it's very accurate. I did take it apart and clean, so there's no threads that are in there. But I've got to tell you, this machine was owned by a lady who I think she got intimidated by it. And so it's been on a total of 108 hours, but it's only got 9 hours worth of embroidery. Doesn't even have a full hour worth of stitches of regular sewing. So this machine is basically brand new. I mean, 10 hours worth of stitches of embroidery is nothing. I do that on one project. It does come with a honeycomb, nice tray table extension with the slider for, especially if you're doing quilting, that's really great to have. It also comes with the Barbie, they call it, little case for all the accessories. And I want to mention on the back, because it stands up just like it is, but it also has these feet that twist out like so. So if you want to make sure that it doesn't fall over, get the other one out, and they lock. I'm in the way. It's hard to do this two-handed when one hand is operating the camera. But anyway, so it will not tip now. Okay, and so you have a little door here. Now this space here, because this actually clips onto the back of the machine. And so this is for the presser foot lifter arm. So the presser foot has to be down, and you put it in here, and it actually, sorry, I don't have the camera over there. So the arm goes in there, in that slot, and then this hooks under this right here. So it actually will stay within the machine. So I always keep mine. I do have a Bernina machine myself. So this machine I bought strictly to clean it, service it, and sell it. And so I've had to learn this machine because I don't have an Aurora. I actually have a 640. So it's a little bit different, and I've had to really crash learn this machine. But anyway, I'm going to first run it at a straight stitch. Gosh, I'm already at 8 minutes on this video. And I do have, I did do a video of the embroidery. So there's going to be several videos. So actually, before I run this, I am going to go ahead and stop this video and do a part 2 so you can see it running. And the pictures, of course, show all the items that come with the machine. It's a complete machine. Thank you. Come back to video 2.